想追問翻疫情嘅，咁就係酒吧嘅群組就繼續擴大緊啦，學校嘅個案都增加緊嘅。咁係咪反映緊社交距離措施係放寬得太急呢？有冇需要再收緊翻部分處所嘅營業規定，或者甚至係停業呢？唔該。
我剛才都講咗啦，今日嘅疫情呢係令到我哋有關注，但係亦都未到一個地步咧，又要去收緊社交距離措施，因為疫情咧已經係持續咗2年多啦嚇。就我由第一日開始到而家都係話，每一次作呢啲決定咧，唔能夠做一個單一嘅考慮都係3方面公共衛生嘅考慮啦，經濟發展嘅考慮啦，同埋市民可接受程度嘅考慮啊。我相信今日香港嘅市民咧，亦都會大部分同意應該繼續俾佢哋可以有呢個復常之路嚇。但係喺呢個復常之路，而家暫時行慢少少，即係第3階段嘅社交距離措施，我哋暫時喺6月底之前唔會實施。我相信亦都係反映大部分市民嗰個嘅而家嗰個意願啦，因為佢哋都有啲擔心尤其是有小朋友又要返學，咁因為我真係唔想又出現一個情況咧，又唔俾學生返學，因為呢個對於學生嘅學習嘅損害咧係太大。所以頭先剛才喺開場白講嘅咧，就係今日係6月7號，距離6月30號，即係話我同我嘅團隊仍然可以為香港作抗疫嘅決定咧，喺呢20幾日裏邊咧，我覺得最好就係保持嗰個現狀咁但係當然，如果聽日出現一個極端嘅爆發，咁另計啦但係而家似乎睇落嚟咧，係起碼應該係保持現狀。保持現狀咧，就係表示咧不會係收緊無論係外防輸入、內防反彈。保持現狀咧，亦都係等於唔會再放寬啦但係與此同時，唔係唔做嘢，所以頭先已經列舉咗咧喺5、6方面咧，我哋會加強我哋現行嘅措施，令到我哋可以安然令喺呢條復常之路繼續向前行。多謝大家。
林太你好 now 嘅，即係頭先就跟進翻頭先記者問題，就係話，即係萬一有領導人訪港咧，我哋而家嗰個疫情嘅趨勢咧，即係會唔會影響咗呢個計劃咧？即係而家有冇咁嘅條件去做呢件事？如果真係做，有冇啲咩嘢嘅即係備用嘅？例如頭先講嘅閉環安排，即係香港嘅會見領導人嘅呢一啲官員做一個閉環安排，會唔會係安全啲咧？
第一咧就係我早前都講過㗎啦，喺香港回歸祖國25週年之際，同埋新政府成立，我哋當然係熱切期盼領導人訪港就我相信領導人訪港咧，鑑於過去香港5年發生嘅事，一定有非常重要嘅講話，為香港未來嘅進一步發展咧係指明方向。咁所以本屆嘅特區政府咧，一定會竭盡全力去創造可以俾領導人訪港嘅條件，但係詳細嘅內容咧，我唔可以交代啦。
Tony from South China Morning Post. So I have 2 questions for you. Number one is that can you elaborate on what is your definition of an increasing trend? Because you have said that there are multiple indicators going up, but you cannot see a increasing trend yet. So can you elaborate on this point? And also, what would the government do to boost the vaccination rate of care homes? Because only about 56% and 14% had the second and third doses. Also, can you also confirm that you and other senior officials and EXCO members will be put under the week-long closed-loop arrangement by the end of this month to prepare for the president's visit? How would the rebound in cases going to affect the president's visit to Hong Kong, and how would this closed-loop arrangement affect the government's operation? Thank you.
Well, of the several questions, first of all is we have witnessed an increase in the number of positive cases since the beginning of June, that is this month, which gets us a little bit concerned. And as a result of the increase in the positive cases, and since we have allowed confirmed cases, that is infected people, to stay at home where appropriate for home isolation, so it is only natural or inevitable that some of the indicators will also go up. For example, the viral load in the sewage, because these people are living at home. So then the sewage coming out from their buildings will carry a higher viral load. But for the time being, it is a bit too early to say that we are now confronting a sixth wave of the COVID-19 epidemic, because it needs a lot more indicators in order to confirm the situation. So I'm convening a meeting with my experts later today is to listen to their advice and to see what other measures we have to put in place. So for the time being, I could not give you a categorical answer on when a trend will arise as a result of the current situation. But it is always essential for every one of us to be as prudent and cautious as possible in terms of the personal precautionary measures, that is wearing a mask, observing the social distancing measures, avoiding unnecessary crowd gathering, and so on. Particularly in the scheduled premises. So I have asked my law enforcement departments to step up their inspections and law enforcement on a daily basis. Now, we have introduced and implemented the government vaccination program since February last year. At every stage, we have rolled out various measures in order to boost the vaccination rates, and it has proven to be extremely essential in order to keep the severity of the infected people to as low a level as possible. That's why I said that despite the rise that we have seen in confirmed cases and other indicators, the hospital admissions and the number of patients who are critical or serious or require intensive care remain at a very low level. I'm sure this has something to do with the vaccinations that we have carried out in Hong Kong. So specifically about residential care homes for the elderly, I think all of us have learned a hard lesson of not being quick enough in making sure that our elderly in residential institutions were fully vaccinated before the fifth wave hit us. And there are a combination of factors. It is not just entirely the government's issue, but I'm sure you remember for a time, many of the relatives and family members of these elderly residents resisted the vaccination for their elderly people. Now, at the moment, I think so far we've got full cooperation from the homes. We still have this outreaching teams of medical and nursing staff to go out to visit the homes and to apply the jab. The reason why the rates could not increase as fast as one would like to see is because many of them are affected. So there are good reasons to ensure that there is a sufficient interval before we administer the vaccines. But I think so far I have not heard any particular problems or impediments from my team that is led by the Secretary for Civil Service, Patrick Neep, that we are facing problems in raising the vaccination rates in the residential care homes. Finally, I cannot confirm at this moment that there will be a visit by the President of our country. That's why I could not answer your specific questions.